Okay, there we go. So we are ready to go for the folks who want to learn more about real estate investing. Thank you so much for tuning in. And I'm going to pass the baton over to Theresa.
Hi, everyone. Thanks, Devon. So a little bit about myself. I am a Navy, actually, I would say I'm a Navy vet, but I am a U.S. Navy. I'm a commander in Navy Reserves. I have not retired yet, but I am in a reserve. I've been in for 25 years. I started off as enlisted and I switched to direct commission in 2020, I think 2006. I think that's when I became an officer. So that's about me. And then I am a real estate investing. I've been investing for maybe 15 years now. I really got into it in 2020, 2021, 2020. And I started off looking to just get more into real estate investing. And so one of the things that I did do, and I got in contact with, I started doing a lot of research during 2020. And I thought I wanted to do flip first, fix and flip. I was like, no, I don't want to do all that. And so I figured out what I wanted to do. And that's when I met Devon. So Devon is always wanted to own a hotel. And so Devon became my mentor. So in 2021. And so I've been with her ever since, right? So she's been helping me become a real estate investor and to meet my goals as being a hotel owner. Today, I co-own 2 hotels right now. And so that is part of my venture as a real estate investing. But today I am going to talk to you about a little bit about how to leverage your VA loan to build wealth. So if anybody, let's see, how many people on here utilize their VA loan? About one house. Have you used it multiple times? Drop it in the chat if you have used it before. Or come off mute and let me know. Not yet. Okay. Anyone else? Bought a house. Okay. Okay. Not yet. Okay. And the next question I'm going to ask, for those who have not used their VA loan, why you have not used it? Or do you own a home and you just haven't used it? There's a few on here. Owned but not used. Okay. All righty. Okay. So one of the things I want to talk about is, oh, let me see, hesitated. You hesitated? Okay, Dimitri. Okay. Okay. On here, repping my own, but not used. Okay. Okay. So let me talk about that. So one of the power of ownership. So let me talk about that. Let me see. Let me do some, let me share my screen. Let's talk about this a little bit. And the only reason why I want to talk about VA loan, because there has been a lot of people have used their VA loan to start off their real estate investing, and some of them are millionaires today. I don't know if you guys know that. Just real estate using a VA loan. So the advantage of using a VA loan, if you have not, you hesitant and stuff like that. I like to have an open question and answer, so you can ask any questions at any time as we talk about these things. So let me share my screen right quick. Hold on 1 second. Let me share my screen if I can. Okay, hold on. Let me that right quick. Oh. Oops. All right, let me My screen. I don't need that. Where am I screen at? Okay. Nope. Okay. Let's do this. I see Leon got on. Hi, Leon. How you doing? Are you a vet or are you representing a vet? You're a vet. Okay. Have you used your VA loan? Once or twice? One time. Okay. Okay. All right. Let me share my screen real quick. Okay. Can you guys see my screen? Yes. Let me present. Okay. I see myself. Multi. Okay. All right. Again, I'm Theresa Adair. I'm a veteran, still in Navy Reserve, real estate investor, and then I also do speaking about how hotel investing, commercial investing, and those things. All righty. And my screen will go. Did it go? Okay. I don't know what's happening right now. All righty. I'm gonna have to move that down. Okay, the mission doesn't end, it transforms. So today we're going to talk about how to leverage your VA loan benefits as a wealth building tool. And then we'll talk about how to use your TSP and how to scale if you want to scale beyond residential. The power of ownership. The power of ownership in the military, we are trained to operate with passion, precision. Every mission has a plan. I can't see you guys, so I want to make sure I see you guys. If you got to drop a question, raise your hand so I can see you because I'm this presenting thing I can't hardly see. So, and one of the truths that being a vet is that we work hard. We were not taught, some of us was not taught how to invest in real estate. Um, some people were taught financial management. Some people have not been taught about financial management. And I think one of
And
the things,
Theresa, is there any way you can make your screen big larger?
oh, can you not see? Okay, hold on, let me see. Oh, the screen
Yeah.
is small. Okay, hold on, hold on 1 second. Let me change it a little bit. Let's see the layout. Hold on. Oh, I see what it is, let's see. Is that better?
Yes, that's better.
Okay. All right, thanks. Trying to make sure I see it. Okay, let me change that. Okay. So one of the things I want to talk about is that owning assets and things that we grew and I mean that we can grow and pay while you sleep, right? And so you generate monthly income, appreciate your value, and leverage other people's money. And let's talk about that. Let me make sure I do that. Oh, I didn't. Okay, this is what I was talking about. Okay. Ownership creates freedom. When you own asset, you control your financial destination. For me, I didn't want no landlord, didn't want no boss. And then you have no limit on your potential earning. Ownership gives you opportunities and flexibility. Passive income. One of the reasons why I decided to go into real estate because I wanted passive income while I sleep, while I travel, and doing it while I'm on military active duty. Even as a veteran, you can use your VA to do that. And so that's one of the things that I really wanted to talk about today. The greatest wealth transfer in history is happening, is not happening through our paycheck, right? It is happening through I would say ownership, real estate ownership, not just some people say, oh, one hotel, one residential. And so with the VA loan, a lot of people don't know that they can use it multiple times. You can use it multiple times, your VA loan multiple times. So we'll talk about that. Let's see, next slide. Okay, so use it. Oh, that is not working. Come on. Okay. So one of the things about a VA Advantage, right, using a VA loan is really it is a financial launch pad to building wealth. One, some of us know, and some of us have not used their VA loan, but they own, is that no money down payment is required. You purchase it, no money down. You reserve your capital. You can do renovations and investments. So let me talk about that a little bit. With VA loan, how many people know that you can buy a VA loan with multifamily? How many people know that? Drop it in the chat. Drop a 1 if you know that you can use your VA loan for multifamily. Okay, Deborah has a duplex. Okay. Anyone else? Okay, drop a 1 if you know that you can use your VA loan more than one time. Okay. So the ones who knows that, how many have you used it multiple times and kept your first property? Drop a 1 if you have done that. Drop a 2 if you have not. Not yet? Okay. Anyone else? Okay, if anybody can come off and tell me why you have not used it multiple times. You have more than one property using your VA loan. Anybody want to ask the question? I see a lot of people have not done that.
I never really
Anyone?
thought about it.
Okay. All righty. So let me ask this other question. You haven't thought about it? Okay. It so one of the things that I did. So let me tell you my story. So I started off. I had bought a house. I mean, maybe 20 years ago, I had a house, and I was like, oh, I'm thinking only needed, I can use only mine. So me and my husband is dual military, right? And both of them was on. Me and him was on that VA loan. I was not aware that I can use mine too, separate. So we bought another home, and the other home is just in my name. And so I bought a second one in my name.
Huh?
Oh,
You want to go to bed?
uh-oh. So I bought a second one in my name, right? And so, but we kept those homes in both of our VA loans, right? And so we moved. When we moved, I was able to buy another one without selling the one that I already had. And then he didn't have to sell his either. So that means that we had 3 homes under our VA loan. We not paying no down payment, no PMI. We got good interest rate, and then we were able to reuse our benefit. Then we bought our 4th home, right? And these are all single family. This is before I knew that I can buy multifamily, right? And now I know I think on my 5th one, I decided to buy a multifamily. So, but we were able to reuse our VA loan. Now we capped out. So what we did was Our first one that we did, the first one we used on our first home, we refinanced into a conventional loan. We took the equity out to buy our fifth home. Now, not sure, how do you not pay the note? You still you still pay that note, right? Or you can, some people sell their home just to get the equity out. Some people just, do a convention loan to reuse your VA loan because you cap out. That was a time where you cap out on yours based on the county limits. Now, I forgot what year it was. Now there's no cap. So you restore your VA loan. So only your first one, when you buy your first house under your VA loan the first time, it's based on that county limit. So example, so if you buy a home that's $1 million, just say you buy a home at $1 million, and that is the cap. No, I'm sorry. The county cap is for that city or county is $800K. Yes, I am renting all the other ones, but it's still under my VA loan, right? um, so it's 800 cap for that cap. So the home that I bought the first time was only 300. So that left me 500K on that, under that one VA certificate to buy another home. So if I moved or I got another job, I had $500, 500K to buy another home under my husband VA loan. So that's why we ended up getting another one under his. And then the same thing, since he was capped out, I started mine. And then I was able to buy another one because I didn't cap out. Now, that first one that we bought, how about the residence? We'll get to that question. So when the first one I bought, I refinanced it because I wanted to restore my benefit, meaning that when we bought that fifth one, it was unlimited because now I no longer have to do that county limit because I restore my benefits with the new law that VA loan has. So that's one of them, right? The resident requirement most of the time is in a year. However, there is a clause because we're military, especially if military or veteran, as part of VA loan, is that if you move a certain mile, sometimes it's in the same city. Sometimes, like if I'm in Virginia, right, and I live in Maryland, and I say, you know what, I want to move closer to my job that's in DC, I can still do that because it is beyond, I think it's 50 miles beyond my original location, especially if I got a new job, right? So I can still do that within the same location, same county, long as it meets the same criteria. But also, even if it doesn't meet that same criteria, you want to move closer to your job, you can call the lender and say, hey, I need a letter so I can buy a new house under my VA loan because I want to move closer to my job. I no longer want to drive. So there's multiple ways of doing it. And for the residents, do you have to live in your home initially? Yes, you have to live in your home initially. Again, it's a year limit. You have to occupy it, live in it. However, if you move, if you get a new job, you can leave. And still you can rent it out. Most of, it's the purpose is to rent it out to get that passive income. Any other question on that about how to leverage that, using it multiple times? Okay. Do you have to live in a home initially? Yes, you have to live in a home. One other things with the VA loan is that the move doesn't have to be a PCS. Yes, because as a veteran, you're not PCSing, right? You just got a new job. It doesn't matter if it's a military job or as a civilian job. If you live far from your work, like where you work at, and you no longer want to drive and you want to purchase a new home, you can still do that. You just say, "Hey, I'm moving, and I want to move closer to my job," and most lender was like, "Okay." And then you get a new loan, you reuse your VA loan that way because you move into a new job. I mean, a new location, closer to your job. So you'd be able to do that. You necessarily don't have to have a PCS, but you have to have a reason to purchase, meaning that to move to that location and how to reuse it. Now, a lot of people do house hacking. And the reason why, because multifamily, you can buy a VA loan on multifamily. That's 2 to 4 units. So that means that you live in one, rent out the other 3, and the other 3 will pay for your mortgage for all 4. So that is another way. And you can do that multiple times. So that is really the way to build wealth faster and consistently. So if I bought my first home, if I had a 2 to 4 unit, my first one, right now I will have 5. If each time I move or each time I located a different location close to my job or whatever, I will have 5 multifamily. So that is 4 times 5. I would have 20 doors. That's what we say in real estate. I would have 20 doors just using my VA loan. No additional other loans or anything like that. And I never paid my mortgage. Other people paid my mortgage. So that is the real hack. Some people call house hacking. And when you hear that, you thinking that, oh, somebody gonna live in my house. Now, some people do that. I mean, I think in San Francisco, people buy 6 bedrooms house and they rent out a room. Some people do that today. One of the things right now today that VA is looking for is people to rent out rooms, like a single room. VA is paying people, say, hey, if you have extra space, I need to put a veteran into a single room, long as it has long as they have a bathroom or they have access to a bathroom and a kitchen or those type of things. So some people convert say you have 5, 6 bedrooms, right? And then your basement, right? You can do that with VA loan. I mean, you living in the house already, calls house hacking. One of the things that VA will do, they will pay you to convert a room for a veteran to move in, a homeless vet to move in, and you getting VA is paying for that. So that's double, right? So not only that VA, that's another way. VA can pay for your house payment, and you rent that space to for a veteran homeless. Now I know some people took their rentals and convert them to single rooms. So instead of renting a whole house to a veteran, homeless person with VA, what they did was they separated, they renovated their home, and each room had a small kitchen. They might have had a shared bathroom, or they put a small bathroom in each room. So if you say you have 6 bedrooms and you have a common area where everybody used the kitchen area, but in each room they have their own bathroom, so they don't have to share a bathroom. VA will pay for the whole your mortgage, but they will also pay for other things for you to have those veterans live in your house. Anybody heard about that? Converting your rooms to that to help veteran homelessness? Anybody hit a 1? You guys are not talking today. Never heard of, yes. How do you do that?
Yes.
So,
So,
go
Theresa,
ahead. Yes, ma'am.
I'm on the line, representing my hubby, but he just walked into the room. So
Mm-hmm.
he knew that that was possible, and I believe
Yep.
that he attempted to do that about 10 years ago, but
Mm-hmm.
kind of ran into a wall in terms of knowing who to contact, where to go to actually do that.
So VA, so right now I don't have the link with me, and I'll definitely if you share your email, drop your email in here. I will actually I at the end you can contact me directly. I will get the link. So it's through va.gov that do housing homelessness. So what they do is that, so let me explain. I know how you say first time hearing it. Thanks, Melanie. So one of the things is that you can use, like I said, you can use your VA loan to buy the house, right? Yes, it's being recorded. So you can use your VA loan to do that. So it's one of the initiatives they have right now. They really looking at trying to get different homes. So I know one of my friends who's in St. Louis, that's what she's been doing. She went around and bought value add properties, right? So it needs a little fixing up and those type of things. So you can use your VA loan for that as well. They have it's called a value add property. So basically you can have, it's called a renovation home loan. It's similar to the FHA 200, I think it's 203K. It's similar to that. And so it has that. So it's like a fix and flip, but you cannot do it. So it's not, you cannot, you have to have a VA approved contractor, similar to fix and flip. If you know about fix and flip, you get a full scope, of work. And some people just buy, they call lipstick, right? Need some painting, separate the rooms and those type of things. Maybe, a little renovation, like I said, add bathrooms and stuff like that. But like I said, I will give you that information. And so it is something that's been going on a while, but now they really, really need it because homelessness is very high and they trying to get them off the street. And one of the reasons why is because think about this, women, especially women vets with children, they can't go in homeless shelters, right? They can't, unfortunately, they can't do that. So they need a space for those. So I know, like I said, my friend in St. Louis, she took two of her rooms and combined it into one door, right? And it's all for women. And then the other one, she had mostly men's, right? In one of her other homes. And she made them all single rooms. And she working with the VA in St. Louis to house them. And they pay her a certain amount of money for each room that she, every month, for those veterans, the homeless veterans. So it is something that a lot of people don't know about. So I wanted to tell you guys about that. And so, like I said, if you don't want to use your own home, you can use your VA loan to go buy a fix and flip and use a renovation loan. And then another way is that another loan that is out there that is a VA construction loan. So a lot of us have land, right? I don't know. I'm gonna say a lot of us. I don't have land, but I wish I did. Anybody on here have land? They're just sitting around, just you just paying the land in your property taxes. So one of the things VA has VA construction loan. Even if you want to buy a new home yourself, you can use your VA loan. The VA loan, what it does, the VA construction loan, what it does is that there's not a lot of lenders, so not all lenders offer it because it takes a long time. And so, and you don't have to have upfront. It's the same process. You don't pay no money upfront or anything of those things. You get draws. You have to have like I said, VA, a general contractor approved, and you can purchase the land as well as build a multifamily. Yes, you can build a multifamily on there, right? It's called VA construction loan. That's another way you can do that. What some people do is that they'll get a plot of land, right? And they might, when you have multifamily, when we talk about multifamily, in Virginia, they have these townhouses, right? You think that's a single, you can buy, say they all close together, right? I know Virginia has these, right? These townhouses that close together. You can buy 4 of those. That's considered as multifamily. 2 to 4 units, that's 4 units. You can actually buy and use your VA loan. Do you use that along with your VA loan? Yes, you have them in Newark. Yes. So no, yes, you use it is your VA loan. So it's a different type of VA loan. So it's the construction. Yeah, it's VA construction loan. So basically what it is that they'll you buy your land and buy everything and you build. You can get an architecture, you can do the whole 9 yards based on what you want, VA to approve it, your loan, and they'll build it for you. So it's not like you can just go to, you can go to a developer and do it. You can do that too. It's pretty much the same, except you have your own land. This is land that I want. And some people build compounds, right? They have a farm part of it, and then they have they build their home on that land. So there's multiple ways of doing that using your VA loan. There's a list of them. I can just talk about that all day, but there is a list of ways of using your VA loan. Multifamily is the best way because, again, like I said, you can live in one and then rent out the other 2, and so you never will have to pay your mortgage for that because the other people are more paying for your mortgage on that. Any questions before I go on?
I have a question.
Go ahead.
So what about, I've been seeing a lot, of course, on social media in regards to tiny homes,
Mhm.
converting those containers into homes. So
Mhm.
we did have the property. Could those things be funded? How could we get those funded to put on the land that we already have? I don't have any land. I'm just saying, so I can buy some land because I see these
Yeah,
different. So what about that? Would that be
I think
considered the same?
so. It's similar. What I don't know about the tiny home, I know they're allowing you to do ADUs, right? So ADU is using your current home and you build a small tiny home in your back. That's called ADU. Or some people transform
Okay.
their whole garage, right? And that means that's an additional dwelling unit. So they allow you detach or attach. So, but building a tiny home is similar to buying a single family home, right? Container
Right.
homes. However, I don't know what I don't know, and that's a good question, is that I don't know if you can build multiple, right, on that land with your VA loan. That I
Okay.
don't know, right? Because multifamily is, like I said, it has to be 2 to 4 units. Most of the time, it has to be connected. But that is a good question,
Okay. Because
and I will find out.
you said that we can buy multiple townhomes, and then that could be
Mhm.
considered multiple
Correct,
unit
but
home.
right, so they all connected, right?
Okay.
So they're all connected. So you could do that. So you know how some of these townhomes are 4 in one row? You can
Right.
build it like the same. You can build the same way. You can
So
build or buy. So if you see,
so
say,
my
like, go ahead.
my other question is, I'm in Baltimore, so we have these vacants. So they had this plan one time, buy a vacant for $1. I'm not making this up. This is serious. But the
Hmm.
vacants are so dilapidated, you're gonna need $1 million to fix it to be able to utilize it. Is funding available to use those vacants to create dwellings for our homeless veterans? And we have a big population of homeless veterans in DC, Northern Virginia, and Maryland.
So that is a little different. And the reason
Okay.
why that is different is that that is different for you owning your own, right? So say you want to buy that dollar home and it's considered as a value add property, right? You buy it
Right.
yourself under your VA for under the renovation loan for VA.
Okay. Okay.
If you buy that home and you do that, that means that you have to live in that home after it's renovated. Then you can rent it out
Okay.
later. Or, like I said before, or you can say, you know what, I'm going to build it and then downstairs I'm going to rent it out, right?
Right.
And then after a period of time, like I say, a period of time, that was your first one. After a period of time, you say, you know what, I'm going to do it again, right? Meaning that I'm going to move somewhere else or see if they allow me to buy another one somewhere else while I live in this one and I buy another one. Because I'm eventually
Okay.
have to move, or I say, yeah, if I'm going to move, because you have to live you have to, one of the requirements is to live in the property.
Okay. Thank you.
Even if you fix it or flip it, right? So a lot of people do that as well. But there's other ways of doing that, using that value added property renovation loan to do that.
Okay.
Leon, go ahead, Leon. I can't hear you. Oh, wait a minute. You need to unmute, sir. Go ahead.
So I guess my thinking or my question is, do we have to keep the if we utilize our benefits, do we have to keep them out of like a trust or a an LLC?
So
Yes or
moving
no?
into moving to an LLC might be a little different. So all my homes is under my trust. I have every last one of mine is under a trust.
Okay.
So it is. So when I purchase it, yes, it's in my name because the loan itself is the VA loan, but the property is it's in my the property is in my trust name.
Okay, so it sounds like we have to have a different, for lack of a better way, a different show to discuss how that would work.
Correct. I mean, yeah. So, I mean, so what I did was, I can explain right quick. So what I did was we purchased it in our name originally. And then all I did was take my trust to the recorder, and for that home, because I have a trust, and I put and I gave them my trust, and they actually changed the property name into the trust. That's all I did.
Wow.
Yes, that's all you do. Now, LLCs might be a little different. I'm not sure, because sometimes the LLC, well, might have to require your lender to allow you that to move it into a LLC. When you go to your recorder or assessor in your city, yeah. But yeah, trust is easy to so all my property is in a trust.
Theresa,
But the VA, yes, go ahead.
sorry, when you say recorder, do you mean to get it recorded at the courthouse?
Yes, to change the title at the courthouse or your assessor, right? And the reason, yeah, so I still get benefits. So like in Virginia, I have a condo in Virginia, and my husband's 100%. I don't pay property taxes because he's 100%. But I rent that condo, and it's still on the VA loan. So you can still do what you need to do as a veteran, get your property taxes reduced to zero, depending on where you have your property at. You can still put it under, like I said, you can still put it on your trust and those type of things. The LLC, I'm not sure about yet. I haven't tried that. You know what? I might try it. That's a good. I might do that and see if I can do it without no complications. I'm gonna do that for one of my renter things. One of my homes that I have is rented out. I might do that just to test it out. 'Cause I haven't tried it. I mean, because it's like rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. So that's one of the things that I do. And you say, like I said, scale and repeat. Requirement 1 year is your requirement, move out, rent the unit, and then reuse your entitlement again, like I said, and you repeat and repeat. I know a lot of people that do that, a lot of veterans that do that, and then sometimes they refinance. Now, how many people know about the EARL? The interest reduction. It's called the interest rate reduction refinance loan. Anybody know what that is? Drop a 1 if you know what that means. Okay. Virginia knows of that. No? Okay. So let me tell you that. So this is another way of doing it and making, you cannot do a cash refi. There is a VA cash refi. There is one that exists. But this one is like, so say like now, where the interest rate for VA has gone down. But say you bought a home early this year and it's like 7%, right? It's high, right? But you really wanted a home, right? You needed a home and stuff like that. And then so as the interests go down, and I always recommend people at least 1% before you do it. Sometimes they call it streamline reduction VA loan. But what it does is that a lot of people, say, oh, you can reduce your interest rate. You got a VA loan and stuff like that. I don't use those people, but but the key here is that you can call your lender and say, hey, I want an EARL. I want the interest reduction refinance loan. And what it does is that it lowers your interest rate. Say right now it's like 5%. I think it's 5.4, depending on the lender. You call them and say you want that. It will reduce your interest. It will restart your 30 year. However, it will save you a lot of money. It will reduce your interest rate. And here's the kicker. You don't have to, no credit check, no income check, none of that to reduce your interest. None of it. Now, yeah, so it's, and some of them are like, oh, I want to check your credit. You're like, no, you're not supposed to check my credit because VA doesn't require it. That is the one sticker. They might just check and say who you are or whatever if you go to a different lender, but they can do a soft pull for that, for identity reason, right? Yeah. So, but if you're in the home right now and your interest rate is above what the current interest rate right now, call your lender because you can save some money that way. If you're 10% or higher, you should not be paying a funding fee at all. No funding fee, no lender fee at all. Because 10% disability and higher do not pay a funding fee when you buying a home. A lot of people don't know that. So always check your mortgage statement. They, you're like, you getting a VA loan and stuff like that happened to me. I was like, oh no, I should not be paying that because I'm 100%. I don't pay a lender funding fee. So just want to let you guys know that.
Theresa, a quick
Yes,
question.
ma'am.
If you do the Earl and you
Mhm.
have to re-up, do you have to re-up for another 30 years or could you do
It
15?
does. Well, it depends on the lender. Sometimes it will allow you to do 15, but you have to look at the numbers. Like, is it worth it, right? So say, you really have to look and have them compare. I know some of them have 20-year loans, right? You like, I don't want to restart at 30, right? So you definitely have to look at it because you lower your interest. And so this is what I did when the interest rate was like 2%. So when it got down to 2%, all my homes I reduced them to 2%. And when I bought them, one of them I bought at 5%, one I bought at 60%. That's what it was. And when it got down, I did it so many times because you have to have 6 month payments. So you have to have 6 month payments before you can redo it again. So every time the interest rate goes down, if it goes down every 6 months, you can do the Earl because you have to have 6 month payments. That's another thing as well. How many people is going back to their lender and ask that question? Because you say, hey, what is the interest rate? What is the Earl refinance Earl? And they might say, oh, you can do a cash out refi. You can because there's a VA cash out refi. A lot of people don't know that as well. There is a VA cash out refi as well. Compare, because if you want to take the equity out and buy an investment property, that's another way of doing it as well. Taking the cash out of your current home because you're going to refinance at a lower interest rate anyway and buying an investment property. Maybe you want to buy land. Maybe you want to do those tiny homes, those container homes. You can do that too if you do a VA cash out refi. All righty, let me get down. Any other questions? Okay. There's an example. I talked about that a little bit. One of the things that I did not talk about, and I think I got 10 minutes, I'm gonna talk about leveraging your TSP. How many people is it just residential or is it commercial too? What do you mean by that, Deborah? Okay. How the property's on. So I mean, it goes through the same. So it could some when you talk about commercials a little different. So but the multifamily one, it most of the time is residential. All VA loans is residential. Not there's no commercial because you remember your multifamily is no more than 4 units. There is one. There is one like yeah. So there is a one of the girls that I yes, like yeah, more than 4. There is something out there that says you can do that with an office space. I think like 6 property. One of my friends, she looked it up and there is a way of doing that. To have she has 6 units and with a residential. There is a VA loan for that. I don't know more details than that, but she was looking into it because she found it online. And some people use joint, right? So using a joint owner to buy that. So her portion was she used her VA loan. And so I'm a veteran and she's not. We can still use my VA loan, but she has to put 20% down. So there's a lot of other ways of doing multifamily more than 4 units. So there's some other ones that's out there. You just have to get into it. There's a lot of benefits. I can't get into it because I got like 9 minutes left, but there's other ones out there. But one of the ones I wanted to talk to you guys about, I already talked about doing a VA cash out and use your home equity to redeploy your capital. Like I said, you can buy commercial with that. So like I bought a house in California in 2014. It is more than 50% equity. I can take that out when I want to, when I'm ready, and then I can go buy me a 10 unit. I can use that as down payment, buy my 10 unit, right? So I can do that. So I always tell people, if you want to take any cash out refi or home line of credit of make sure it's going to make you money. Make sure you're going to make money, not just take it out to pay off bills, right? Because sometimes we do that and we get more debt, right? And so you want to use that. You want to use that to buy other properties, because that's what a lot of people do. You know, they have all these properties and get to a point where it's like, okay, I got 5 properties. I'm maxed out on my VA loan. What can I do? So they'll do a cash out refi. They might do a convention, right? Do a cash out fee refi, take that money, and then go buy a apartment or put money in for a hotel. That's what a lot of people do. It's like you want to you utilize that equity, even though you ain't pay no mortgage. Remember, you have other people paying for you while you live in that house, right? That 4 unit, right? You want to make sure you do that. Or house hack, like I said, having somebody living in your basement and paying your mortgage. And then you take that money and reinvest into something that, buy another property so you can do that VA. You can do that VA homeless program and buy another property using your equity off of that. So there's multiple ways. There's creative ways of doing it. Let's see. Last one is one of the things, TSP. So last week I was doing a hotel investing workshop, and one of the things I talked about is most retirees, if you retire or a vet and you still have your TSP, it's not growing. They no longer match. I don't know how many people know they still have that TSP and they are no longer in the military or a federal employee that still have their money just sitting there. Anyone drop a 1 if you're doing that? Anyone? Jump. So I guess everybody, okay. I don't. Oh, so let's go back. So so I don't know. I have, but I'm still working. Okay. Yeah, you can do that. Okay. TSP is federal employee. Okay. So TSP is the thrift saving plan. If you were in the military, I don't know when it started, but most of the time when you're military, it's like a 401k, but it's for military. I got a 91. They didn't have it then, Leon. You don't know. Leon, like, I don't know. But you might want to check. You might want to check and see if you got one that's just sitting there. Because I don't know about 91. So I wasn't in the military during that period of time. But that's a good way of researching. I can find out. But anyway, if you had TSP, which is the 401k plan for military, you can a lot of people that currently have it's one of the best 401ks that's out there, hands down. There are a lot of millionaires from just putting in their money in 5%, 10% from their military pay, and because of the different plans that the military has in that 401k, people became millionaires just doing that. So definitely, if you still in, definitely continue doing it because they match, right? Now, one of the ways that a lot of people do is that you say you have $1 million in there, right? I started after my husband got out. Okay. So say you have $1 million just sitting in there. You can move some of that money to a solo 401k, which is what I have done. The program that I've done is that so one of the reasons why I have done that is that TSP, to get a loan or take any money out of that, you have to go through all this paperwork. You have to tell them why if you take a loan, you have to pay yourself back. There's nothing wrong with that. A lot of people do that. They take it like 25K or how much money they want to buy whatever property. So if they buy an apartment or they want to invest into a hotel, they'll take money out of their 401, they'll take money out of their TSP. Or you can do your 401k, either one. Some people take loans. The best, and it takes a couple of weeks, depending on your plan. Do they do it with state jobs? I'm not sure, Leon, about that. You have to check with your state, the state that
No,
you
I'm
work
saying
in.
I did do that.
Oh, okay. So yeah, so even that, so you can go in, check out your plan, because a lot of people don't know this, is that, you know, how to pull money out of your 401k or your TSP and say, okay, what is the process, right? Can I, if I'm buying if I'm investing into other properties, or I want to go into buy a hotel or whatever, what is that process? That's number one. A lot of people don't know what the process is. So if you want to invest in other real estate and you want to really, really accelerate your portfolio, you can use your 401k. So that's number one you need to do. Number two is that there's other ways of doing it. So what you can do is that you can take a portion of that and move it into a solo 401k, meaning that you oversee that money yourself. You become the owner of that 401k. Some of them are called self-directed RRA. Some of them are solo 401k. The one I use is called EQRP. And what it does is that I manage my own money. So I transfer my money from my TSP. Just a portion of it. I say I want to move some of my money over to my my solo 401k. I use that. Go ahead.
Hi, Theresa. Do you use a specific company for your EQRP?
That is the company. That is the company. It's called EQRP.
Okay.
So it's like yes, it is a rollover. However, so I won't pay no interest, right? I won't pay no taxes or anything like that. I move a portion of my money because I wanted to do other investment other than stock, right? Because the reason why is because if I invest into an apartment or to a hotel, most of my most of my return on investment is a whole lot higher than just stock. Average stock is like 10% in 7 years or whatever, the average, right? But in 3 or 5 years, I can do commercial. Say if I want to get into an apartment, right? I want to invest into an apartment and I want to do it at a higher, 50K. I can take that money, roll it over and say, I'm going to use this money to invest into apartment syndication, become a limited partner, or I want to do a hotel.
So when you don't
Go
have to
ahead.
pay any taxes. So if you're under 59.5 and you have your money in, say, an IRA or a Roth, and you want to move some of that money into the EQRP, are you saying that you're not paying any taxes and
Nope.
penalties on that money? And then number
You're not.
two, do you have to pay that EQRP, put that money, those funds back into the account by a certain time? Or if not,
No. So
penalties?
basically, so one, you don't pay a penalty to move it over because it's considered as you rolling it over to another type of 401k or a directed RRA, whichever one. That means that you are self-managing it yourself. Even though you're using a company to help you move it over and to set up the account, you will pay, yes, you pay them a fee, a one-time, a yearly fee to keep your account or a monthly fee. This all of them are different. Some of them are different. Not all of them are the same. I chose EQRP because it was the most flexible for me. I had the checkbook and it's set up into a business trust. And it's my EQRP is EQRP Theresa Adair 401k, but that it is a business trust. So under that bank and everything like that, moved it over, did not pay no taxes, anything like that. And I knew exactly what I wanted to do. Now, here's the thing. I took that money, I took 25K and I invested into a hotel investment, right? When I did my investment into that hotel deal, what I did was that money came to direct. I wired the transfer over for that investment. It must be into that name. So it says EQRP Theresa Adair 401k. That hotel investment that I did took 25K out, I put it under that name, and the EIN number I use, or it's a social security or EIN number. The EIN number I use is for that account, because that is why I got a business EIN account for that, for my own self. I'm managing it myself, and in investment. So the other key is that once I get my money back, 3 to 5 years, double my money, because I'm very particular. I always look at 2x, meaning that if I'm gonna give you 25K, I am expecting at least double my money within that 3 to 5 years, right? When I get my money back, including all the dividends, I take all that money back and put it back into my 401k, because it's under my 401k name. Then I can recycle. I have an extra 25K in there. I recycle it over and over, the same 25K that I pulled out, but my account is growing. I hope that makes sense.
That makes perfect sense.
Okay, so Deborah, when I say EIN, so when you do a self-directed RA or you do a solo 401k, when that company set you up, it's going to set up into a business, not a LLC, but it's a business LLC. It's not an LLC, it's like a corporation, and that you get an EIN number. Yeah, so you get an EIN because it's associated with that particular account. And so so when you invested out of that account with that money, it has to be tied to that EIN number, because that's a business. And you file taxes every year. The only taxes that it's like a form 5500 that I do. It asks me these series of questions. Did I use that money for personal? If I use it for personal, then I have to pay taxes on that because I withdrew it out. But since it's an investment, I don't pay taxes. So when I do my tax form, I put it in, I track it and say what I was using it for. So that's generally how it is used. I know Devon probably talking about that another time of, doing like 401ks, how to use your self-directed RA and using your TSP to do that. So a lot of people don't know that. Even in your employee, like I know I saw some federal employees on here, you can use EQRP. Yeah. Is it different than opening something like, yes. So Fidelity generally doesn't have that. So Fidelity normally don't have it. There are some companies out there, you can do solo 401k. You can see EQRP, type it up, Google it, and then you do a solo, like I said, solo 401k, self-directed RA, and it's all things that you manage yourself. I think Charles Schwab does it too, but I had mine there because I had a Fidelity account, and I moved it over there, and then I found EQRP. EQRP gave me the most flexibility. I didn't have to call nobody. I didn't have to say, hey, I want to pull money out to do this investment. I controlled it myself. It was all to me. For me, it was all about controlling my own money and allowing me to do other investments with my own money and then put it back. So I can double my money quickly than the one I have in, my work, right? Because it's all just stocks. Stock goes up and down. I want to have some control over my own money. So that's one of the reasons why I did EQRP, is to control it. There are other ones out there, like I said. And I know Devon had, I think she had EQRP on before on some of her webinars and stuff like that, but she always have those as well. All righty. Any questions? You got you guys for an hour.
Hello, this is Darren. Got a quick question for you.
Yes, sir.
So you're saying with the EQRP, go over it one more time. Do you set the trust up with them so that it'd be in a trust form, so you can have your EIN number, your TIN number as well, so that when you transfer the money over, it's already going into, the business aspect of it as well as the trust? I'm kind of confused on how that works.
It's all in one. So basically, when you go through EQRP, they'll give you the whole entire process. Like, okay, I want an EQRP. I want to it's considered as a solo 401k, except solo 401k. And here's in the process that you talk to them, and they'll say, okay, they'll give you exact way to move your money. You say, okay, my money is in TSP. They'll say, okay, this is the instruction to get your money over into this account. They set everything up for you. They'll set up, so what they do, they'll set up the bank account. It's a business bank account because it's and they'll set up your name. Generally, it'll be your first name, your last name, EQRP 401k. And then they'll give you once it's set up as a business account, they'll give you the EIN number along with your bank account and all those things. You log in under it's not a personal account, it's a business account. And then you'll see everything. You can do wire transfer. You can do different things, to different places. You can do a check. You can become your own private bank. Say somebody need a fix and flip, right? And it's like, oh, I only need 20K, and you have 20K, and I don't, like I said, you got to trust people, do a promissory note, all those type of things, right? So some people become their own private bank. That's one of the ways they do it, right? They take that money and they'll pay them back, and they pay directly into that business account that's considered as your own 401k, because you managing that 401k. So I know our current president has said something about, he want to change 401ks, right? Because today, only thing you can invest in fidelity and in control is only thing you can buy is stock. What he wants to do is change it, allow you to buy other investment, gyms, other properties. Like I said, you can invest in other properties and those type of things. That's what he wants to do to change your 401k, your work plan. I don't know if that'll, whenever that will happen, but this is a way to control your own investment. You got money sitting there. Why not move it and control it and say, because some of us wants to do other investment because we just got money sitting in there, and this is a way of doing it.
So let me ask you this. So whether you transfer the money from your personal savings account or your Roth or just an IRA account, once it's being transferred, you can't be taxed on it because it's going into the EQRP, correct?
Only when you transfer them from another 401k or I don't know, but I think you can do a Roth. I'm not sure. That is I think it has to be a RA to RA versus a 401k. I am not sure. I am not an expert on that. I'm just telling you my story on that. But again, like I said, there are other ones that's out there. There are several people that do self-directed RAs. And then some of them do solo 401ks. So there's multiple ways. And both of them, solo 401ks is something that I did. I didn't do the self-directed RA. I didn't do that one. But there are other ones. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. And you didn't move any money from your personal account to the EQRP because you knew that'll be taxed.
Can't. Nope. You can. I can so what my husband does is from his, his check, right? So from his work, he put money into his 401k. But that's before taxes, right? So you can do that. You put money into your 401k before taxes. And then you can say, okay, I got enough to move over, right? I got enough money in there. I'm going to roll over my money into my EQRP or my self-directed RA. And that's no tax, right? Because you already did it before taxes. Now, if you want to do it after taxes, you can take your check and you can add that bank account, because again, it's a business bank account. You can have money go directly into that. And then at the end, you have direct in there. So the good thing about it, here's the deal. You already paid taxes on it. And then when you do your taxes, right? Same thing, right? You can still try to get some of that taxes back by when you file your taxes. So there's other ways. And so, like I said, EQRP, they explain the whole tax strategy. I am not, like I said, I'm not a CPA, but definitely if you do it, you ask those questions, because there are, and like I said, the ultimate goal is to utilize my money that's already sitting in there, and it's only getting 10%, 7% at some years, depending on these stocks. I want to increase that and accelerate, right, my investments so I can have more money, passive income.
And EQRP, is that a monthly payment to them, or
no? It is a yearly. It's a yearly maintenance fee. Yeah, it's like $500 yearly for a maintenance fee. Right. Yeah, it's like $500 for maintenance fee. And then, they go through, they really, they'll work through you and everything. I like it because like I said, I control my investment. So and here's the other thing, some of your 401ks that you have at your job, you only can invest in certain ones, right? Right. You put in your EQRP, you can go and invest, use that same money, that money you move over to your own. You can do stock, you can do other stocks, You can do all that. As long as you put that money back and all the interest back into that, like you can make, like if you do option stocks, right? You do options, right? Say you do option, you made money off the money that you got from your 401k, from your, your EQRP. You just put that money back, just drop it back in there, drop it back in there. And you increase it fast. In fact, you're accelerating your own investment. And so that's one of the ways of doing it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Welcome. Any other questions? Oh, yeah. Yep. She's like, I'm setting it up right now. Yeah.
We can send the EQRP and self-directed IRA options.
Yeah. Yeah. And the investor does it too, right? So like I said, I invested in several hotels on Vest, and that's what, I use that. I use it directly. I send it directly to, like I said, it's in my EQRP name. And then my shares in that hotel is in the EQRP name. And when I get money in dividends, I send it back. But I'm making money, right? I'm in 2 or 3, 3 or 4 or 5 years, I made double or more money than I would made it on my work 401k. Any other questions?
Yes, I do have one question. This is Darren again. So you have invested into the hotels and you saw the returns for yourself, and it's good. So you can attest to that.
Yes, definitely. Yes, I have. and I have an investment group as well. So me and some ladies, other veterans, got together and we invested into a hotel as well together. So yeah, I could contest to that. And like I said, learn, like I said, with Vesterr, you can learn about it. I would suggest that you go into those webinars, just check it out and those type of things. You'll be amazed how many people actually do it. It's, with Vesterr, some of them is a little as $5,000, right? And just imagine if it says it's 3 to 5 years, and it says a 2x. Always look at 2x. It's close to 2x. 2x equity multiplier, meaning that I'm going to double my money in 3 to 5 years, plus whatever dividends I get from it every quarter or whatever year they have. And so all that money is going back. And so when they sell or refinance, I get all my money in 3 to 4 years. I'm going to put it back and then recycle that same 25K that I used originally. And then I still got $26,000, $30,000 from that investment sitting in there while I go pull that original 25K. So it's compounding, right? And then I go back and do it. Or I take that whole 50 again, say I got 50, say I do 25. And then when it refinance or they or they sell, I get 50 something, right? 50 plus, right? And then I take that 50K and reinvest, and then I doubled it again. Right? In 3 or 5 years, I made 100K, right? So can you do that with stock? Not
with
with
you can't do it with banks just holding your money.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, you can't do
it's
that.
No right. It is no flexibility. You control it, right? And it's like I control my own destiny. And that's the key of using, that's the key of that. It's like I control taking a portion of it. Like I said, TSP is great. Don't get me wrong, it's great. For all who use it, some of them made $1 million off of it, right? But it's just sitting there, right? And if you get out, you no longer accumulate. So when you move it, you have to make a conscious decision. What do you want to do with that money? You could split it and say, you know what, I'm gonna put it in a Fidelity just to keep the stock going on. And then my other half, I'm gonna go invest it into commercial because you generate faster, you accelerate commercial, apartments, hotels, you make your money much faster that way, or buy your own property.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And let me share, you can contact me. Like I said, I use EQRP all the time. So I have it. I've been having it for maybe I think almost 5 years now. Yeah. So you can scan this and you can call me or email me any questions or anything like that. And then one other thing is that, they are one of the things I wanted to say, I forgot to say it earlier, is that There are some places where I've been looking for for one of my clients is that there are mortgages out there now. I mean, lenders out there now that will allow you to use your VA loan if your credit is not all that great, right? So VA doesn't require the credit score, or is not a requirement, is the lender. The lender tacks that on. So most lenders say, oh, you need to have a 620 or 640, but there are lenders that out there that allow you to do as low as 550. And some of them your debt to, and like I said, VA loan doesn't, they really don't have a debt to income requirement. I think and so everything is based on the lender. There is not the VA. So that's one I want to make sure that everybody understand that as well. All right, Devon, I am done.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Theresa.
You are welcome.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. And everyone will get a copy of the replay, as well as links that we talked about, or Theresa really talked about the QRP, Qualified Retirement Plan, and Self-Directed IRAs. And I hope that you all enjoyed your Veterans Day, and thank you all for your service. You all have a wonderful evening.
Thank you.
Thank you all.